Sorry about that, there's some audio issues. They should be fixed now. Cool, thanks for letting me know. Now, German, like I didn't do the whole spiel. German, we have, oh, going up now. That's cool. Let's see if we can like tap out this area. So last night we had SAP report their earnings. SAP is the German 40 top company, makes up about 12% of all of German 40. Earnings came out, they beat expectations. They released earnings at about 9 PM UK time last night, which is like over here, and they did well. So Asian session did pretty well, 70 pips in the Asian session. Now on the back of that earnings, Euro, like Frankfurt hasn't actually done anything about it yet because they've only just opened 42 minutes ago, and we're seeing it push up, which is pretty good. Now I do have some levels flagged. I wanted to see like an Asian low or something swept to really get a nice long. On the daily, we've got a bit of a trend line developing. So I wonder if we're going to get a little bit of resistance around this area. So I want to see a bit of a fake out, come back, come a little bit lower, and then push up. So not much of a pullback needed, I don't think, on the back of that earnings. But I do want to take the first break, and we do have some news. We've got PMI news, 8:15, 8:30, 9 o'clock, 9:30, and then the US have their go. So it's a very much a risk on sort of day, I believe. We've got a lot of talk, no talk coming out of the US because they're in Fed blackout, but we've got talk with the ECB speakers, all but locking in a rate cut in June. So we've got rate cuts on the horizon. We've got positive earnings from the top company in SAP in German 40. We need some of the car companies to follow suit. So if we do get some, like, if the ECB can maintain that rhetoric that they're going to hike, but then also get a good German manufacturing number, so it shouldn't be too hard to beat 42.8, you think? Hopefully not. It's a pretty low number. There's the lowest number. Oh no, we've had some lower numbers. It's a very low number still. So if it can beat that and show that manufacturing is actually maybe starting to rebound a touch, then and with rate cuts on the horizon and having a pullback, at least a pullback corrected, then we could hopefully start to see a little bit more upside. Now, we do need to be careful of a lower high being put in, but I think for the purposes of today, it makes sense to be looking for longs. But just be careful. First touch into this area, there's a little bit of a supply right over here. So we've got a little bit of an order block where price shot down, then paused for a bit, and then had another go. So I'm mindful of any bounces at this previous London low, and then also of this area. But once we're above there, we've got clean candles. Oh, Des, Gold found out you were cheating on her because you're seeing the other mistress, the German 40. Did you dirty, huh? Trade was going really well last week, now tanked. Yeah, that was a shame. I held a trade on gold all week last week. And then luckily I closed half of it on Friday when we reached 2400 again. And then it came back and stopped me out. Killed the runner. If I knew that was going to happen, I would have closed it. Hindsight's great. Okay. In other news as well. Oh, there was something else that was interesting that I saw. Was a coordinated effort. A potential coordinated effort to so the South Korea, Japan, and the US. Anyway, might be a coordinated effort for South Korea, Japan, and the US to intervene and support the yen and the won by bringing the US down, the US dollar down a bit. Because I think the whole world could benefit from the US dollar coming down off its perch a little bit more. So if they decide to sell some treasuries, then that could lead to US weakness. But that's all very much speculation at this stage. One thing though, does anyone trade FTSE? Russ, you do. You trade the FTSE, don't you? So that's been really benefiting. FTSE's been doing well. It's the one that's been rising when the others have been falling. FTSE's been doing well. Why? Anyone understand why?
Because a lot of those companies listed in that basket of shares, they have their headquarters based outside the UK and are based in American dollars.
Yeah. The headquarters can still be in the UK, but it's their consumer base.
Generated.
Yeah, consumer base is outside of UK, so a lot of their profits come to the business in US dollars. So
I think that's the first study session we did.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so pound, when pound's falling, if they're making the same amount of sales in US dollars and pounds falling, they'll convert into more pounds, and more pounds is more profitability. So I just never trade FTSE, but kind of slipped by the wayside. I was checking in it again because I got some shares in it, and I was wondering because it's getting close to that every 3 months when they redistribute the dividends, and because it's a decent dividend paying indice. So when I looked at it, I'm like, oh crap, really? Because when I saw a pound sliding, I didn't even think about it. It wasn't even on my radar until I looked at it. I wish, but it doesn't move very much. That's the problem. It's a bit of a slow burn.
Wing trade maybe.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like just going back to currencies, because currencies move so slow.
Yep.
Which can be good as well. Sometimes it's nice having a slow mover. Where's everyone else? That's a small group. Okay, come on, push. Akshay, good morning, mate. How are ya? Morning, Heath. Hey, Dave, did you get some stickers yesterday?
Yeah, yeah, a nice bright orange and red one. Very beautiful.
All sorted?
Yeah, yeah. It actually turns out I didn't need it. Well, I do need it, but I don't. Like, I'm perfectly legal without a sticker, apparently. So
You're not an alien in the country.
not being deported yet. But yeah, that's fine. My permit should have been processed by now, but apparently things are a bit slow right now. So, let's see.
Still waiting for Maddie's citizenship papers to come through. Apparently it takes like 4 months.
She's not going to get deported, is she?
Nah, the Aussie ones that we made her
Okay.
made her look Aussie. Nah, she's a true Brit at the moment.
Does she have British citizenship, eh?
Yeah, she does. Not from me though.
Right.
From Sarah.
Yes. Yep.
So, which is funny because like I didn't realize, but I've got a UK passport from my father,
Okay.
and because he's English. But there's differences between you got some different rights as a naturalized citizen or a birth citizen. So because I was a naturalized citizen, I don't have the right to pass on citizenship to anyone. It sort of ends
Right.
with me. But Sarah, because she's got settled status, because if you've got settled status, right to remain,
Yep.
as a European, then
Yes.
she can pass it on.
Yes. My two boys are born in Australia, but they're not entitled to Australian citizenship because we're Kiwis.
Oh, is it not?
They have to travel on a New Zealand by descent passport.
Oh, really? I thought Australia. When were they born? What year?
They're 10 years old.
Oh, you don't have twins, do you?
Yep.
Oh, you do have twins.
Twin
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Right. I thought they changed that in like 80 something. I thought I saw on the
No.
forms if you were born after this date and you were born in Australia, you automatically had right to apply.
No.
Oh, that's interesting.
They've lived all their life in Australia, and apparently now, after the age of 10, they can apply for Australian passports, but not prior to that. Only now.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's what I read.
Yeah. But from 0 to 10, they couldn't get an Australian passport.
Yeah. Right. Oh, we tapped 18,000. Yeah, so we just collect passports in this house. So I've got a Kiwi passport, an Aussie passport, and a UK passport. Oof, holy man, we're flying now. So this is where I want London in 5 minutes time to come and do its business. But that's a bit annoying that it I wanted it to do the opposite. I really wanted it to go down.
Would have been nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Move being down.
Yeah, go down and then buy it because of S&P.
Yeah.
And so on the 4 hour, it looks like a break of structure. Like it's been making lower lows, lower highs until so yeah. So lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, potentially higher high. So,
Yeah,
so
that
this
broke
one-
structure.
So this one here, this 4
Yeah.
hour here, broke this guy here.
Yeah.
So, but that I think as actually would teach, we might expect a deeper pullback to then break long. So
Yeah, I think you'd be saying that
it
this
may
one.
not get a boing. It might head back and dig into liquidity somewhere down below.
I think actually I would be doing something like that.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if this is our little fake out, as you said, and then it's actually a day where it goes more, well, at least for some time, back down, takes out this liquidity here, this doji or something, and then
Yeah, I want to take the Asian low. This was the last strong FU candle, engulfing candle, liquidity candle that created that new lower low. But this is what I was saying to Paul as well, is yesterday, that when he was asking like, why wouldn't we like to go down because it's keep with the trend, and I was saying like, that's missiles flying through the air.
yeah.
If there's not missiles flying through the air, you can see that once that threat left, is to not look at this as a technical thing. Look at that as a fundamental move.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit like when you have a gap, you sort of just draw across it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I meant, Daniel. The missiles. Missiles flying through the air. Then now this is where we're starting to see a little bit of reaction, because on the lower time frame, that is like something happened here in this rundown. It paused before dropping. So I'm expecting to see a little bit of a bounce here. Now, what I'd love to see a pullback from here. And then a safe move for later on wouldn't be like, just think of safety rather than risk reward, is that if we do get a pull down and something closing above that, then you've got a nice easy, still going to elevate a bit further. But we've got London open in 2 minutes, so hopefully London's going to come with its own little mix of manipulation. But if it just does wick fills and rises, that was what I really didn't want to see, because it's hard to do that, because if you look at this daily candle, you know there's going to be some pullback at some stage, whether it's going to be this session or New York session. And entering a trade above the previous daily high when there hasn't really been much of a pullback and you're getting liquidity left behind, it's hard to stay in that trade for a longer term. You really would need to take profits. Really would need to take profit at some stage. Otherwise, price will come back to your entry, and then you're at a sticky spot. Do you hold it? Do you cut it? So I'd say anywhere from like here to this junction point. And the way I look and find like some of these higher time frame levels before I go to the lower time frame and investigate further is just number of touches, like 1 wick, 2 wicks, and then you've got like these wicks and junction points are all in the same vicinity. And then if I zoom in as well, that clearly there's going to be something on the lower time frame when you've got all these 5 wicks in a row all collaborating around the same area. So something must have happened. So when we go and look at these lines, so I'm just going to name these as wiki area. And then when we look at it on the lower time frame, let's go straight to the 30 minutes. And then we look to the left. No doubt we'll find some sort of interesting like support, resistances, things like that. So, and like straight away, this 18060, pretty interesting that we've got price rejecting it, pushing up, finally cuts through it, acts as a resistance, Asian high, really launches from that spot, then it cuts through it again, then it holds as a support over here. So it's not like a hard support resistance by any means, but it's an interesting level. Interesting that we have reactions there. And then same with this 18037, resistance here, support through the Asian session, support through the late New York session, another Asian low. So it's usually like a pretty good quick shortcut to go and find areas of interest. So there's plenty over here, little like New York high, London high, New York high, London high before cutting through it. So I'm not expecting like, I'm not thinking, my plan isn't, I'm going to put a sell limit straight at that level, but I'm expecting this level to at least create, something some sort of reaction, and if it's a tradable reaction, we can trade it. If it's not going to be, if it just cuts through it, maybe it's going to be a support. So it might not. Like, we should just keep an eye on these levels. Shah Azar saying, any entry on gold? Yeah, I'm in two minds about gold, because I'm quite bullish on it overall, but 2300 pretty good level. So I was planning some entries from like 2320, and then when it broke down to 2300, then I'm not sure what that's going to mean for like it looks like a lot of money's flowing into risk assets, so I don't particularly want to buy gold because it is at a support 2300, and I'm overall bullish on gold, but I don't want to buy it because at the moment definitely the risk assets are in favor today. So risk on sentiment, so that means gold can drop further. So I spoke about it earlier. I'm more focused on German for this session because we had some great earnings, and it's kind of just moving away. It didn't give me my entry that I really wanted, and I wanted to wait for London session to start, which has started now. But I hope some other people have grabbed it. I really hope someone's taken advantage of this bullishness. It was pretty well planned in advance. If anyone doesn't believe me, then and this is something that I shared with the group that came out late last night. Oh, it's not this one. I'll just bring it over here. So fundamental SAP earnings came in good. Last night, 10:37. The report was this one. So they smashed it. They really smashed it. So when they smash it, and it's 12% of the German 40 index, then planning buys is a good idea. Hey guys, so we had SAP earnings come in, Q1 2024 results. They smashed it. So they
sorry.
Revenue up 24% and 25% constant currency. Oh no, look at it. It's getting all twitchy. I should long short-term opportunity on pound US. I should long short-term, it's hard to say. There's a short-term opportunity to long pound US. That's what you're saying, to go long on pound. Maybe. I'll note that. I'll note that Andy Cohen could be the signal maker. Morning, Lewis. Yeah, it's super difficult to buy that extension. Yeah. I mean, for breakout trades, it's easy. So it would have been an easy trade, I think, for breakouts. The timing of it was a little bit off for me. I really wanted to see. Because I don't particularly like taking trades before London Open, and then as it started to push beforehand, it made it then it really made it difficult for me. Hey Tom, how are you? Well, we've had some good moves at the moment. We've all made like enough to retire for the year, and we're just about to end the stream, so you missed it. Hey Jesbo, morning, bit late for the party today. All good, mate? All good. The Asian session on the back of that news was a 80 pips from low to high, and now from Euro Open to London, it's moved 100 pips. So moved 180, no, not 180, but for the day 150. So it's been a good day. It's been a good day so far. Now this is an area I'm interested. I don't want to take it short, but I would expect some sort of reaction at this level, and we are getting a bit of a reaction at the moment, which is good to see. But I don't want to find myself in a short because I'll probably miss the longs. Does anyone have any swing trades going?
No.
I've got a swing trade going on this. From yesterday. I got a little bit early. I got in, I literally bought 17,844. 17,844. But I think there's a, on this broker is a, no, it looks like it's pretty accurate, seeing if there's any broker differences. I thought, though, it looks like I was in, yeah, something's odd here. Looks like I bought there. That's where I've got the dot, but it's, yeah, but that's not the price it says. It's got the dot there, but not the price. Anyway, this is one I was just going to hold, so it's very small. But that's one that I'm not too fussed about the entry from a swing idea perspective, just thinking that a good chance that we're going to keep on rising, and I'm happy just to set and forget. Lewis looking to get into silver once something lines up for a short. A swing, would be prepared to hold for a few days if it works. For silver, huh? Silver swing. That's interesting. Silver has had a decent run, hasn't it? But I would... Silver. See, I wouldn't want to swing silver myself. I would day trade silver. But when you look at there's a thing where you look at the silver to gold ratio, and it often gives an idea if silver is undervalued. It also rises with copper, I believe. Now silver really struggles to get out of the blocks. So it is at all time, not all time, sorry. It is at very recent, like, years highs. But if we do break out, depends on what your stop's going to be. But for a swing trade, I'd say that if we start getting, if US dollar starts weakening, and whilst they're still holding that dollar staying strong. When the dollar starts cutting rates, I would think silver would start pushing up. But it depends on your strategy as well. What is the blue box? Where the current candle is, I'll show you, Jez. It's on the 30-minute chart. It was just where we started pushing down after having this little fake out back here Monday last week, and then price fell, and you see that it paused for a little bit, just consolidated just for about an hour and a half, and then it started dropping again. So this little bit is the it was just a little accumulation. Now that I look at it again, I noticed that the red candle, this is the engulfing candle, so this is also a liquidity candle. So if we extend that to the right, then that is where we just grab liquidity from. I bet there's a Sarah that's in this group that's in the trade. Sarah, did you cowboy that? Cowgirl that? You were already in that? Yeah. Lewis, it's mainly down to overcrowding. Oh, I see. Yeah. Yeah, I can never poo-poo any idea. It's great that you created an idea, and yeah, you know, that overcrowding is definitely something. Is gold trend changed into downtrend? No, I don't think so, Kurti. It's just it was very I don't think nothing's changed geopolitically. It's just at the moment all the attention. It's unfortunate to say, but people get very used to bad news very quickly, and then bad news becomes old news. So it's very, like, you know, all the fundamentals underneath the gold are still there. You've still got central banks buying it. You've still got people trying to de-dollarize to a degree. US dollar at some stage, whilst holding its strength, will weaken. When they do, as the closer it does get to interest rate cuts, we've got money with the immediate fear of war in the Middle East just calming down a bit. We are seeing gold start to pull back, and I think it's just part of a corrective cycle. But as soon as we start getting back to equity markets becoming saturated again, money's just rotating at the moment out of safe havens into growth assets, but it doesn't change the trend for gold. Gold's still going to be strong. This is just a corrective. There's no downtrend. Well, if you look on the lower time frame, yeah, there might be a downtrend. Higher time frame, it's still very much in an upward cycle. Lewis, you agree the technicals don't look the most convincing as of yet. Acting with caution till it shows some signs of cracking. Silver gold spread's one of the aspects to look at. Yeah, I mean, it's always good to be in a trade early as well, isn't it? Not too early. Not too early so you get stopped out first. But, you know, a lot of people trade with when price is on the move. But if you can plan the move and then be patient with it, then you're on the right track, that's for sure. Can gold again fly 2400? Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thanks, Rob. Yeah, support the channel, guys. If you like the streams, give it a thumbs up. Least you guys can do. Very easy. Just one click of a button, no commitment. Gold objectives. I'll have a look at gold later. I'm not focused on gold today because, as I said before, gold's cracked through a support, but at the moment it's very much, we've got earnings seasons, and this week is when you got like most of the S&P 500 announcing the earnings. So I think a lot of eyes and growth is on equity markets. So gold is, you know, unless something pops up at the same time, we've got plenty of news. Plenty of news that's going to help equity markets. So it's very much a risk on sentiment. So I'm not too worried about gold right now. Yesterday and last week was a different matter. But this is what I wanted to see so far. I wanted to see a fake out. Now, one thing to watch for as well is what we've seen in recent times. What can London do? What can these next hours do for London? My guys.
Setting up that New York session.
Yeah, we can set it up for New York. So, as much as we want to see it just go up, it could just go like this and 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 this, and then eventually all this liquidity that builds up is what funds that move. But we've got this 3 minute candle, got a little bit of a decent push. So we've had the French PMI now, so that is, what did it come in as? Ooh, services was good, above 50. Manufacturing not so good. So above 50 is expansionary, below 50 is contractionary. So that's good for services. But France, like, would you think of France as, apart from like travel, do you see France as a banking sector, or do you think France as like a produce sector? What do you guys see France as? Produce, yeah, like your wines industry, food industry. So it's very much a manufacturing. That makes up more of it. Same as Germany. Germany's like cars and whatnot. So you've got some services, obviously, SAP services. You've got some insurance companies, but you've got very much an automotive industry as well. So manufacturing makes up 75% of Germany's economy. So the next one we've got in 10 minutes, we're going to have the German PMI. So let's hope the German PMI can give us what we want. Tall order. I wonder how much worse these German PMIs are going to get. Yeah, not too. I don't think it's too worse. The one thing that's going with Germany. Oh, don't do this. The one thing for Germany is it's very much dependent on China. China is actually their number one trading partner, I believe. So if China starts to show signs of recovery, then it helps the German manufacturing. Are we seeing? You see, Jay sees indices buying again. We expect an uptrend. Yeah, I don't think the low. I don't think the highs of the year has been done. I still think we've got more. No more cheap gas to run it all for the Germans. Electricity is probably the least of concerns, I think, though. I think a lot of that got dealt with before. Jez, apologies if it's been mentioned, but what's to do with these wiki daily areas? On the daily, a shortcut for like finding areas in the low time frame is to look at the areas where you've got like plenty of wicks and plenty of like activity. So see these 4 days, the wicks stayed around there the whole time, and then you had wicks here. So that's a daily wiki area. Same thing as the one above. You've got the wick low, and then you've had like 4 days where the wicks have passed through this area. So it just ballparks you until you go to a lower time frame to just confirm that those wiki daily areas actually will line up with session highs, session lows, session 50%, candle bodies closing at it. Just interesting things happening in these levels. So you expect, if it's like interesting things happening, doesn't mean it's a hard support or hard resistance that, you know, it has to hold, but you do expect there to be interesting things happening at these areas. So like, you know, you can get like plenty, first time touch to a wiki daily area gives you usually a very good reaction. And you know, if you wanted to scalp, you know, the first touch to this wiki area, you know, that was a 55 pip drop from that. If you're just looking for like 20-30 pips, then these wiki daily areas, first time touches, you do expect there to be reactions. Okay, 7 more minutes, and then we have a bit of a break from the high impact PMIs. We've got Eurozone 30 minutes later, but that's like less impact because there's a collection of the rest of the Eurozone, like Poland, Spain, maybe Italy. But France and Germany are the big ones. They separate them because they are the 2 biggest economies in the Europe. FTSE interesting, put in all-time highs, breaking out of a very long-term range. Lewis, yeah, we covered that just before. The FTSE really benefits from a cheap pound. So when we're seeing pound on the slide, that really benefits FTSE. It kind of went under my radar. I just never trade UK 100 because the volatility is not that great. But that should have been actually, if I put a bit of thought into it, that would have been a decent trade opportunity. Dan, where's your levels, mate? You got good levels. You got ideas? I'm just calling people out now because you guys are quiet. Gosh, you guys don't want to talk to me. Dave, you'll talk to me, won't you, mate?
Yeah, what's up?
Thank God. Dave saves me. You sent a buy trap here?
So I'm a bit distracted. Probably not fast enough. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense structurally, but is it compelling enough? Probably not.
So hoping to see if we close below this wick here. I'm not too interested in any buys until we reach Euro low or Asian 50%. This could become a buy zone for me. This area. If we close below this one. China are in a demographic collapse. Yeah, they're not doing too well, are they? From all reports. So it happens when a housing bubble collapses, isn't it? Affects a lot of things. Been hearing about this for ages though. Like, have you guys seen that on any like YouTubes about their like mega cities that have been built and it's like completely empty? But like cities that can house like 1 million people just empty.
I haven't seen them, but I've heard of them. Just these cities they've built just sitting there vacant. Yeah.
Yeah, they do like drone footage where they go through and show them. And I think they did a city that looks like Paris as well, like a replica. Oh, Des, you've seen the first hand, yeah. Well, what's one way, you know, when I mean, can't believe everything I read, but they were trying to like, it seems, trying to outpace US as the #1 economy by GDP. And one way of creating GDP is like printing money and then just building construction projects, because, you know, say like, you know how much stuff's being built in Sydney, all the different roads, and then, you know, if the government funds a lot of it, they can just sell it if it doesn't pay off, and what it does, it creates jobs, creates money, creates assets. And if they sell it off to privatize it, they can usually sell it at a profit as well. But it looks good for GDP. All-time favorite dance music video clips from one of those abandoned cities. Save that for later. Who is it? Oh, XX. Yeah, yeah, I like XX. Jamie XX.
Sensational song, and that clip is just mind blowing.
Yeah, I like
it. It's filmed in a place called Ordos, I think, and it's they built this whole city in order to make it look like a French.
Oh, that's the French city. Yeah, yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, with like a mini Eiffel Tower and all these provincial-looking buildings and.
Yeah, cool. I'll check
really
that.
Weird.
Cody, can you tell me gold by zone for long term? Oh man, this is where these comments start to get into a bit. The thing about buy zones is you want the fundamentals to line up as well with the technicals. So just saying buy zones, you know, it's pretty tough because, you know, I would say 2300 is a good number. And if 2300 is the number and we start getting, you know, conflict escalating again, then it's a great number. But if we get earnings from Nvidia and Meta and all these guys over the next month that just smash it, then and interest rates being pushed back further because the stock market's doing so well, then gold could, you know, fall further. So the buy zones, you know, the buy zone that I tell you today might not be the buy zone that I stay with in a week's time. Printing money is also the best way to create inflation. Yeah, that's true. Oh really? Yeah, that's an interesting point. You would be able to hear the birds, wouldn't you? In these quiet cities, nature almost takes it over. All right, we've got German PMI. Oh, look, great numbers for services. Manufacturing almost comes in as expected. So if we get a close below this low, let's see if we get a close below. If we get a close below, then very much so. I think the services probably... Oh no, it's too early to say for SAP. That wouldn't have been that at all. But a close below this wick, then we're going to be getting pretty close to a buy zone. Good morning, IP. Nothing beats just having a free market, low tax environment, generate economic growth. Yeah. Gets pretty complex though, because you've got the lower class. You need to support it somehow. Problem is that it can be hard for the lower class to get ahead. And then more people realize that if you're in the lower end of the middle class, you're just the ones that get stomped on. So there's less incentive to actually be productive. So you can... Some of them just decide to go lower class because it's actually better living if you're in the real lower ends of the middle class. And the rich get richer, the poor stay poor, the middle class gets smaller. And they're the ones that pay for everything. So it's pretty hard to have a free market like that. Plus I think humans are inherently lazy. So if you've got an easy way out, path of least resistance sometimes is to do nothing. Yeah, anti-free market welfare. Yeah, it's... Big push up from current price back on the 20th of March. Could this be replicated again? 20th of March. Let me just... Do you guys want me to keep this... Oh, I'll get rid of it. I think you guys can see what I'm looking for. 20th of March, huh? Let's have a look. Where we consolidated for a while. And then it started launching. That's what you're saying, isn't it? Yeah, maybe. You're in gold. DXY took a dump. Yeah, 2300 is a good number. Talking about swings, natural gas. Oh, really? Yeah. I know a lot of people that are going overweight in energy. All right. Hey. Adelaide, and you're in as well. Nice one. Yeah, if you're watching on my channel, you can hear music, and you can hear the others talking. So if you guys are interested in hearing that, then my channel is, because I know there's a couple streams going, is Haydos FX on YouTube. Okay, so come give that some support. Now, if you're watching on my channel, you'll see at the top of the screen a quote that I heard it first from David. Actually, Dave's was a chef, and it's the patient trader eats the ripest fruit. So patience is very key. So you can see, like, I don't really rush into things. There's always another trade if you miss things, but a planned trade is the best trade. So be patient, children. So at the moment, this is a little bit of an accumulation. The question is, are we going to close inside of it? If we do, we go to the bottom. If we don't, we might just bounce off the top. So I haven't executed on it, but this is probably worth a little bit of a shout, but I would be taking some profit. It's already moved up like 15 pips. But the Asian high does make a lot of sense. I'm still wondering if we're going to do this. I would love to be trading from this area. I'd like to get an entry, because then I think that entry is probably more likely to hold. And I'd be targeting back up at least to like the 1830. So that could be like a nearly 100 pip move. Plan to trade on German 40. You got in for a sell right here. Yeah, that was a great area for a sell. Oh, but you bottled it. Oh, damn. Then you watch the plan play out when you're not in the trade. Oh, that sucks. What happened? You how'd you bottle it? Did you just lose confidence in it? Or you move stops to break even too quick? Oh, you watched the 1 minute. Yeah, the 1 minute's dangerous, man. The 1 minute gives you like a lot of uncertainty. Yeah. I mean, your zones are pretty good. Your and Michael's zones are good. It's about executing on it as well. But nice plan. That's what we were saying as well at the start of the stream, that ideally I wanted to see London come down to get the longs, but if London went up straight away, then watch out for the fake out, because they also want to go long, but they'll need to set price up as well, because so many people are looking for longs. How's Naz doing? So for Naz things kick off today with Tesla. If you guys are interested, you go to NASDAQ. Just type in NASDAQ earnings calendar, and you can see the list. So 180 of the top 500 announced this week. So this is the busiest week of the calendar. Okay. Oh, look, Visa overtook Tesla. Tesla's really out of favor. But we've got Visa and Tesla. This little moon means they announce after the market closes, so like, 4 or 5 p.m. New York time, ish, maybe even a little bit later. So it'll be interesting what they do for Wednesday. Yeah, I guess Tesla now, you can't even say it's in the top 7 anymore now. Then Wednesday is a good one. Wednesday we have Meta. Alright, here we go. Closing underneath here, still more downside to come. This is killing news in Adelaide. Watching this. The way NAS is moving at the moment is checking my bullet points for a short later in the NYSE Open, but you're looking to buy. So now my bias for later is quite conflicted. Oh yeah. Yeah, NAS will, if London pushes up, you notice how NAS, the majority of the time, not every time, but the majority of the time, if you look at this tiny little London session in comparison, I mean, London session is still 120 pips, but most of the time, not every time, most of the time, NAS New York session will sweep the high and low of the little London session. High and low of London session taken. This one it didn't. This one it did. This one it didn't. Did. So probability is that if London pushes up, NAS will have a short move, and I'd like it to short first, leave the London high alone, and then take the London high. So same idea, yeah. You want to take a buy, but it's setting up for a short. That makes sense? And maybe if we get some really good positivity coming through, this is the zone to target. At least for like a day, semi-day trade swing, is to come grab this liquidity. So power up, start pressuring 17,600s again. We'll see. Oh, it didn't close on the 3 minute. It push, and the last minute must have turned around. Yeah, last minute of the 3 minute candle. No, the middle minute. The middle minute. First minute, second minute. Still maintaining bearish 1 minute structure, but we are getting into more sensitive areas. When things did kick off in the New York, in the German Open, it was kind of neither here or there until this candle, and now this candle, the base of it, has come back and been collected. So we could be getting close to the bottom. Oh, you can hear that. Could you OS? Yeah, coffee's arrived. Ah, come on, German.
Still looking for it to dig deeper, or
Not really.
are you?
I would like it to dig deeper, but I didn't pull the trigger here. So now I'm wondering if on the 1 minutes, if we break this, at least this last little swing high that made the lower low, and then if we do push up, and then look in to take either the retest, or if we start closing back a high, if we get a really shallow retest, then just looking to try to take that to sweep this liquidity that was being generated. But I'm uncertain still without that little pullback and break up, because I guess you could have a magic green line, couldn't we? But looking, that minute's pretty good. One thing I do need to be cautious of, though, is the hour candle coming to a close. And if the hour candle's closing, pretty strong bearish again, that means I would want to wait for it to go to a little bit lower. So I wonder if I do just give it a shot if we pull back into this area. Based on the 3 minutes, probably not a bad idea. We've got a little liquidity candle. I should have entered on that liquidity candle. Are you in? Did you take it?
Me?
Yeah, or anyone?
No. I'm a bit distracted. Sasha's at home today, so it's just...
Should teach him to get him a computer. Get him another room. He can start trading as well.
Yeah,
That's like a game.
yeah. He's slightly too impulsive, perhaps, for this game.
Put him in a demo account.
So I shouldn't put him on a prop challenge straight away.
Yeah, a demo prop challenge. I think Alpha do those. We think Maddie said her first word by mistake. It just sounded like it. That sounded like
buy or sell.
full margin. code full margin. Adelaide got in a bit late. Is any news? Oh, here we go. A little bit of movement. So we've got a little bit of PMI at 9 o'clock as well. I'm mindful that we could just keep on digging lower and that the move isn't quite finished yet to the downside. But I'm going to give it a little shot. Not my ideal entry, so I'm not risking much. So keep risk low. Just need to see now some sign, like a little liquidity candle or something like pushing down and flipping bullish. And I am mindful though, with the new candle in 5 minutes time, we get another bout of PMI data, and if it does, the information I'm going to gain from, if it does keep on doing something like this, it's going to increase my confidence for New York buys. So I'm really not putting much on this at all. And if we do start getting some positivity and I start getting a bit of a target more clearer, I'd be happy to scale into it. So first entry though, there's not going to be much. So just need to see, little bullish candle. Hopefully in the new hour. At the moment the structure's still a little bit to the downside. But I do like this zone. It makes it awkward because I'd prefer down here. But we did get a little bit of break in 1 minute structure. Like this little swing. So I think it's worth a shot. It's worth a reduced risk shot, let's put it that way. And if we can start pushing and closing above here, then absolutely beauty. Just go, come on. First test is to get it if there's a close above this line. Okay, come on. Push, push. Little micro liquidity candle. This one here. On the 1 minutes. So it'd be nice to absorb that. And sit in 10 pips in profit. 11 pips. What's this one? So I've got Jamie XX to watch. And Tom is putting Keys Hideaway. We'll listen to it in our coaching session, Tom. You good for the time still? Alright, next bout of news. Hopefully this can propel price a little bit. Okay. So Eurozone. Good numbers for services, bad numbers for manufacturing again. But is it pushing up? At least it's still on the rise. Because we did bottom out around the 42s. And we are starting to push up a little bit, slowly and surely. The last one got revised higher, 46.1. So yeah, it's kind of giving it a bit of a crack. Jez, you got the 200 DR, 200 EMA on this 3 minute. So that's down here. Well, I'm in two minds about it. One, I kind of do hope it gets down there. I think it's a nicer area to be buying from. But because I'm already committed to this one, I don't want it to go down there. I'm running just hasn't really been moving too much. So if I get 10, so I'm 10 pips in profit. I'm going to take a little bit off the table. So no matter what happens, now I've banked 10 pips. It's not much to show for it. But now I can't finish the day negative, which is good. Something I was chatting with one of the guys as well is controlling over trading as well. And it's something that, like, on the Blue Guardian prop account is actually you can do, but it's not like you have to stick to that. But it's if you start the day off with a few wins, what you can do is like put a limit on yourself personally on how much you'll take afterwards again. And I think, you know, trading for a living, the idea is just to make money, and it doesn't matter how you make that money, whether it's like using good risk reward or wide stops, like that kind of stuff it does become secondary. The main thing is to make money. End of the day, you just need to make money, and how you do it is going to be personal. But we want to make sure you're making money not in a unsafe manner, but also like, you know, if you could always improve, and like if you're having like mega wide stops and using risk reward, then it does, you know, you could probably trade better. But if you do start the day with a win, try finish the day in positive, because you've done so much better than most people do. And I guess with the Blue Guardian Protector, you can always, once you start the day with a win, you can actually go in and put a limit on that account. Then that if you go into like any, like even 1 pip in drawdown from where you started the day, the account can lock you out for 24 hours. And that's not a great idea for it to like lock you out. But if you do find a habit that you're still struggling to control, is making some good wins at the start, or finally getting the profit, and then just giving it back in New York session, or taking some trades that are kind of like outside your plan, then I would put some of those hard limits in, so that no matter what, you finish, your account doesn't go into negative by the end of the day. Because if you start the day, like I know now, even taking a little win like this, I'd like it to continue going higher, but now I've got a little bit in the bank, so that no matter what, you know, the day is going to be a positive day. It's about putting these little things into your, like, there's one thing to create a trade plan, like a plan for the day, and then there's another thing about in your trade plan on how you want to manage your own trading as a business. What do you do to control any downside? Yeah, I think that was a good move, taking profit at that point. So I'm really in two minds about this candle, because the problem is, like, I really want to see it just continue going, but we've got the new hour now. So this is what makes it hard, is that we've got a pretty strong hour candle from an area that I flagged as a bit of a reaction point. Best case scenario now would be this candle just pushing up and filling this whole candle, closing higher, and then it completely fades out that candle and you've got more upside. But the problem is that this hour candle closed bearish, and any kind of candle that closes bearish, there's a possibility that price will retrace into the wick a bit. It's not like it's a pin bar or anything. And some of these pin bars that create, where they've got a nice long wick from the bottom, can just lead to, like, it can show a sign that the price is rejected. But when you've got an hour candle closing with a nice wick to the top side, that means that wick has gathered liquidity a lot of the time. And even if this hour candle goes bullish, there's probably, you know, high probability that price will push into this wick area. And because my entry is near the low of this candle, I don't want this hour candle to drive deeper, because I do think it's very possible that we drive deeper before going up. And it's really possible that London now sets the stage where we just create this like lower high scenario. And what they do is, like, for the first half of London, people get frustrated because London Open's not giving them the move that they expect, creates all this like liquidity here, and then eventually it just will go sweep it in New York. So this entry I've got, I'm not convinced that it is the low of the London session. So I was treating it with I was much more conservative, just trading like this area taking profit at 10 pips. Nothing can hurt me now on my day. So I think that's it's about being disciplined, patient, cautious, disciplined. Oh, look at the time. Anyway, 10 past 9. So YouTube guys, we're gonna end it. Zoomers, stay on. YouTube, appreciators, trade safe. Watch out for the news. It might not be scheduled news. Well, we do have scheduled news. You've got pound, we've got US news later on, but you're also going to have like equity markets that's driving price. So if you follow the equity markets, then there's plenty of news that's not on the economic calendar. But you guys look after yourselves. I'll see you tomorrow, okay? Support the stream, guys, as well. If you haven't given it a like on the way out, before you shut the door, give the stream a like. Okay, thanks guys. See you tomorrow.